Alright, boys and girls, I have a bit of a special for you today. Once again, of course, we are going into the Korean scene, where we have once more good old Sake from Team MVP Black. He's playing Tracer this time on his account Akma. I'm not going to bother with reading all the Hangul to you, because you guys won't remember that in the first place anyway, so we're going to jump right into our HeroLeague match here. But we have a pretty special game, because there is one player on the opponent's team that we have seen a lot lately. And it is Hard Johnson, the one and only on his Leoric again, and not only one Cloud9 mount, no, we have two of those. There's a lot that Sake currently has to do if he really wants to restore law and order to the Nexus and make sure that everybody accepts MVP Black as the only true Overlord. On Tracer this time, with Billy Mount, he is going to try and make his plays, and this is going to be a good one. Hard Johnson going up against Sake. We have seen both of them in the same team a couple of times already, but this time they are on opposite sides. It's a little bit like what we've seen with Captain America and a good old Iron Man. So let's see who is going to win it here. If we're going to have our British Tracer going to show Leoric how it's done. For now, we're looking at the setup. We're having on both sides, well, actually, like we have two tanks on the side of the red team. For the blue team, we have one frontliner, and it is, as you can already see, Diablo. We have also one single healer for both of the teams right now, whereas Leoric and Muradin are currently at the front line for the red team. They're getting supported by Uther in the back line, and Li Ming plus Sylvanas are going to try and dish the damage out from range. And also with Sylvanas, of course, you have a pretty cool tool that you can use when you get the Punisher to just push these lanes down. When we're talking about the blue team, about Sake's team, then with Diablo at the front, especially Karazim is going to try and get his heals in, but we have quite a bit on damage on their part, especially of course with Tracer and Vala, but also with the Zagara that will try and provide a bit of vision on the map to make sure that with the creep tumors they know exactly where the opponent is positioned. So it's going to be a pretty fun game here. At the same time, we are also having an arrow build, by the way, taken by Vala, already using it against Hard Johnson up at the top lane, but we all know that it's go hard or go home, and so far Leoric has never gone home. This guy is here to stay, and he had some sick entombs in the previous games that we've casted with him. For now, though, we are having a bit of a closer look at Tracer, of course. And on the level 1 talent, you can already see a slight variation of what we've seen in the European scene so far. We are not seeing Slipstream. Instead, it is the Pulse Strike. Of course, in one of the recent patches, Slipstream was nerfed a little bit, and a lot of pros have immediately changed away from it, only to return later, since that cooldown reduction is still pretty phenomenal. But Pulse Strike it is here in this HeroLeague game on the Korean server for Sake, the MVP player. And already the approach to take down Salvation on his Karazim, but he dashes away and is able to save himself here. The blue team, on the other hand, is already suffering a little bit. They might get the lead in minions, but they're all incredibly low. Yeah, well, Muradin whiffs his Stormbolt for now, but they are trying to go straight again for those minions, and getting the first Punisher in the game, that would be great for them. Parting Gift has been chosen for Sake on his Tracer, and he is already starting to be annoying. If you think one of the world's best assassins is annoying as he is on any hero, then try putting him on Tracer, and you can already see that he's just zipping around the entire time, frustrating the opponent's setup. And they are very frustrated. Hard Johnson, Wraith walking away in this case, by the way. Vala continuing straight with the arrow build, and maybe the first kill against good old Johnson. Leoric is down. And there he goes. We have a second kill. Great play by Tracer, actually, as Sylvanas is eliminated. They get the Punisher on top of it as well. Have a lead with a level roughly already, and are starting to push through the mid lane. Very important, of course, to note is once again that we have a Sylvanas on the side of the red team. This is going to be incredibly strong, especially later on in the game, when you can get one of those late Punishers and really just march through a fort and maybe even a keep with Sylvanas just disabling the structures all the way through. So that's going to be a pretty huge deal for the red team. They're going to try and use that strength. For now, it's all about soaking experience on the other hand. They've fallen quite a bit behind thanks to the Punisher taking the wall out, but you could already see how everyone on the red team baited the Punisher in so that they didn't suffer too much here. When it comes to the talents now, of course, we are seeing Envenomed Spines, we have Reconstitution taken on Zagara. Karazim went straight into the Healing Ward on level 4 now too, which is actually a talent that on this map gets a whole lot of value. You can really get a lot out of it if you position it well during one of those fights for a shrine. Very important that this is going to become one of the main assets later on in the game. Right now we have Siphoning Arrow, by the way, with the Puncturing Arrow. There has of course been a build around where you would go into the cost-effective material on level 1 for Vala, just to make sure that you can get a huge amount of damage out, normally with Tumbler on level 16 as well. But in this case, it's the more traditional build on Vala, if we're talking about an arrow build in the first place, which is not really all that common anymore compared to previous patches. Now a spatial echo has been taken on the side of Tracer, and Sake is already here. You could see Charism at the top, by the way, trying to time the camp with the next shrine that's going to activate soon. But we're focusing on the fight down here, where Diablo goes down, and Sake with Tracer eliminates Sylvanas. There we have Salvation, and as you can see, they're still starting to time this camp here. They're waiting for a long time. They've taken it already ages ago, but they want to time it with the next shrine. And that's actually pretty cool play, especially, of course, since we're talking about a HeroLeague match here, which has only a limited amount of coordination traditionally. Another talent that I also want to highlight is that on level 7 we now have Unstable Poison taken. So we see Lost Soul, we have Paralysis and Unstable Poison. Usually we have a bit of a different priority here from Sylvanas players in the recent past. Sake has to be careful here, by the way, is not sniped by Li Ming, is retreating. Here comes that shrine, and remember, there's a camp that has been taken and Vala is capping it right now to make sure the team can move in for it. Besides that, we're having reanimation for Hard Johnson, who's already trying to move in the mid lane here. Both of the teams capping the Khaldor camp, and we're seeing everybody starting to go straight for the temple. With a bit of pressure play here in the middle on the other hand, though. Nice stun against Diablo for now, but already everybody is rather low, and so is Sake on his Akma account here with Tracer, trying to de-push the lane first before they start to focus on the objective on the map here. Diablo is already on point. He's of course a great hero to really control those channels, and he's trying to do that against Uther, trying to push him in, but Diablo is in trouble. Even Healing Ward can't save him. He goes down. Tracer in the back, and well, that was a nice parting gift right there, saying hello and taking down Muradin. Really well done. Sake with a very nice positioning here, jumping deep once again, going for the recall and zipping in again. Very well played here, and super annoying playstyle. I mean, for the opponent's team, definitely not easy, and they are still trying to get that Punisher, even though they still like Muradin, but he's about to come back now, as does Diablo, who of course got eliminated at the beginning of the fight. So far it looks though like the blue team might be able to make this happen. Here comes again the heroic Li Ming! Oh my god, 10 hit points! And Sake is not able to kill her. Uther with a last moment heal then therefore before the teleport goes through, just to be on the safe side. Punisher number 2 on the other hand could not be secured and is now taken by the blue team. The heroic abilities are in play now as well, and you can already tell where this is headed. First of all, we have the pulse round here, but the more important part is, of course, more Apocalypse and also the Rain of Vengeance. This is a wombo combo dream right there that could be used now. More into Apocalypse, the Rain of Vengeance on top of it, and you just blast everything to pieces that has been trapped by Zagara beforehand. So this is definitely one of those things where the red team has to be extremely cautious right now. And we are already having everybody starting to jump in. Sylvanas tries to escape here, but guess who's been waiting? It is Sake, and he gets the kill with Tracer. Really well done. He saw the wave, and he immediately moved towards the end point to make sure that Sylvanas could not escape here. Besides that, we're having also Soul Steal taken and Soul Feast. So Diablo, not necessarily with the build that you see most of the time when he has a solo tank. Oftentimes block is even being chosen. In this setup, it doesn't necessarily make sense for him to go for it, so he went for a bit of a different path. Hard Johnson, who would have thought, goes for the Entomb, of course. Leoric with the Entomb, the Wailing Arrow on top of it, and Avatar as well. We are seeing Disintegrate and the Divine Shield, and already the talents being put in place. Here comes the Apocalypse. The Maw, on the other hand, a little bit too late. Diablo down. He has the souls and will be back. But only one hero died in that fight, and that was one for the blue team. So they're trying to make it happen again. Here comes the Stormbolt, not being hit though. We have once again the attempt to go for Charism here. Sake is just zipping around the opponent's setup, trying to put a bit more damage in. Now let's talk about damage for a moment. We're currently seeing Zagara at 18,000. Sake on his Tracer is still at an impressive 18 as well, but only 3rd place at this point. And we're having, on the other hand, Sylvanas with 21k, which isn't really too bad. At the top lane here, on the other hand, Zagara is not in a position to dish out more damage. She's down, and that is now kill number 4 for the red team. 5 kills versus 4. Here comes once again Tracer going in, hitting the recall. Divine Shield used to save Li Ming. The wave is falling back. Charism with a palm not triggered, and Johnson tries to go in for the kill, and he gets it. Johnson versus Sake. The battle still continues. Johnson with a very nice Entomb here, trying to trap Tracer for now. 4 of her teammates are already down. Can Sake escape? Might be. Oh, close call. gets away for now. Shrine is activating right now. Yeah, well, and Hart Johnson is currently leading his team with an iron fist at this point, starting to move in up to the top lane to get another Punisher. Wow, Murden even with a bit of a B-step action here against Saka. But the rest of the blue team starting to move into the lanes to get experience. So they give up the Shrine. They say, well, we can't deal with that now anyways. They're already too far ahead. We can't really go for it. Let's get level 13 first and try to just like push these lanes back. Maybe take a couple of structures out and then defend against the Punisher. And there is that level 13 already. And after we had the level 1 talent already with the melee improvement, we are now seeing the bullet spray taken for Saka on level 13. We're having the Mutalisk claimed, we're seeing Relentless, we have the Firestorm, and Vala not making a choice yet. Could go into a spell shield here if she really respects, and she does. She respects Li Ming and also Sylvanas enough to go for the passive talent. But we have both of the teams now with a level 13 and a Punisher at the top lane that is intent to do some damage. Already Illusion is taken, Shrink Ray, we're seeing Windrunner, we have Crushing Hope and the Thunderstrike claimed. And now again the jump with a Punisher. He wants to go deep and it's an Arcane Punisher at that. Here comes Hart Johnson once again. He's looking for that Entomb. He always does. The more hits but only one. Saka had to go for the recall. Comes in from behind. Apocalypse is being used. The Rain of Vengeance as well. In comes Saka once again with the ult. Going for Sylvanas. Not getting the kill though. Diablo on the other hand. He's down. Hart Johnson with the Entomb. He himself has only 48 points. Is not afraid of moving in again. And they get the kill against Karazim. Well played here, and Saka is falling a bit behind with his team. The Punisher is still alive and starting to push the top lane. We have 9 kills against 5 right now in the favor of Hart Johnson's team. The Auric is doing his things, and Tracer is attempting to do as much as she possibly can. Zipping around the opponent, trying to look for an opportunity to use the ult again. Hasn't charged up completely yet, but he can always try and go for a quick melee here to dish out a bit more damage. And on the damage board, we are seeing by now Tracer taking over. She's on 30,000 for the blue team, and that's the top spot right there. When we're talking globally, on the other hand, then Sylvanas is still a little bit ahead with 31,000 damage dished out so far. From a point of view where we are looking at structures alone, it's still a pretty solid performance here by the blue team. I mean, they only lost the fort at the top lane. They were able to get 2 Punishers already, and they denied the opponent's structures in the mid lane and also at the bot lane, which of course also means that there are no Vels available in this area anymore, and that could be a huge deal later on in the game when we have the next temple being announced, so the next shrine being announced. You know, main objective now is really to go for the camps. You are trying to just like paint the map red, or in the case of Saga blue, making sure that those few camps are just pushing through and pressuring the opponent. But that level lead that we're seeing for the red team is really starting to become a bit of a problem for the blue team right now. Once again though, here comes the attack against Li Ming. Saka is everywhere but jumps right into the hands of Hart Johnson, and he drops the Entomb. He wants the kill. They might get it. Here comes the palm, and it is being triggered. No level 16 talents just yet, but Karazim definitely making the play here to keep Saka alive, and that was an important one right there. The level 16 talent is going to come into play very, very soon. Top lane, by the way, losing another fort here because the camp has been pushing the entire time. That was really well done earlier by the blue team, making sure that they timed that properly. Now we have the level 16 talents for the red team, and in this case it is the Cold Embrace. Of course, perfect with the Lost Soul on the level 4 talent. We're seeing Benediction taken. We have Mirror Ball for Li Ming, even more damage for her. Would be surprised to not see Muradin going straight into the stone form, but level 16 will also soon drop for the blue team, and that's exactly what they need to fight for that temple, which is going to be active in just a few moments. So level 16 talent is desperately needed, and they finally get it, and then that means Slate of Hands taken. We're seeing the blinding speed, by the way, for Karazim with a Rampage, Blood for Blood, and Executioner. Give him the axe has now been taken by Muradin, not going for the passive stance in the double warrior setup that they're running here. Entomb, but more, and immediately the approach to go straight in. Maybe the kill against Leoric. Hart Johnson is going down. He is dead, and they are trying to make it another kill. Diablo has to rush away, though. He was incredibly low, but at least Tracer trying to get a bit more value in this case. 16 versus 16. Both of the teams looking for the minions. Punishes. Hard Johnson is going to be back soon. Leoric, Diablo has actually to move back right now, and he will be back in just a few moments. But Hard Johnson is going to be a little bit faster. Can he maybe drop another Entomb? He has another 10-second cooldown, and then his heroic ability is going to be ready again. Sake missing his ult, but jumping after Sylvanas, pushing a bit more damage in. Hard Johnson is back to business, and the red team is in the lead right now. Sake is trying to move in. Diablo is finally back. There's the stun against Sake. He rushes away. Here comes Diablo. Can he go for a quick overpower here, for a quick slam, for maybe a kill? That would be exactly what they need, but their heroic abilities are all up again, with the exception of Maw and Rain of Vengeance. Also, Muradin is still waiting for his avatar. Nice healing ward to the left side. Getting a lot of value here now for the blue team. But look at how low the red team is currently. Hard Johnson and Muradin, they're extremely low. Here comes the ult on the side of Sake, trying to get the kill. Muradin is down. Hard Johnson survives. Goddog somehow is able to get away here with the Sylvanas. And this is going to be another Punisher for the blue team. Already in kill attempt by Sake. Like, you really can't leave him alone for one moment. He's always going to look for that kill. He's always going to rush in. He's always going to dish out the damage, and he has done a lot of that. He actually has a private battle currently with Sylvanas. 46,000 damage against 47,000. Who's going to end up with the most of it? Hard Johnson, for now, on the other hand, is still trying to defend against the Punisher. They baited it in exactly like they should. Really important, of course, to make those plays so that you don't lose too many structures. But that keep is still under duress, and they have to be careful here. But they don't really want to fight just yet. It's actually for a long time that we saw the red team in the lead, but now the blue team is slightly ahead. Disintegrate has been used. Oh, Sylvanas going for the attack at the front. Here comes the Maw. Apocalypse is ready, and they snipe against Sylvanas. They take her down. The Divine Shield saves Hard Johnson, but Uther died as well. It's another double kill. And it was all initiated by Sylvanas and Hard Johnson going deep, trying to get the kill on the retreating blue team. That backfired hard, and now they lost the first keep in the game. 9 kills against 9 kills overall, and still Sake doing his damage on Tracer. Starting to zip away here once again and trying to retreat. They pushed most of the lanes in, and now they have an opportunity to simply take a few of the camps on the map. They are 1 level away from the level 20, but we all know Hard Johnson. He is not going to give this game up easily, and he's already back to business. We're seeing him at the bottom of the map right now, rocking his Cloud9 mount. And in terms of damage, just to give you guys a bit of an update, Sylvanas still slightly ahead. I also want to highlight that Karazim with 67,000 is actually a pretty impressive heal here so far. He's been doing a pretty good job keeping everybody alive. The palms so far were mostly good. And when it comes to like deaths, by the way, the only 2 heroes that haven't died in the game yet are Tracer, played by Sake, and of course Li Ming for the opponent's team. So pretty important to highlight that as well. At the same time, up to the top lane, another camp is currently being taken. Both of the teams are just like trying to get the mercenaries running for them. Down here, on the other hand, we have Muradin isolated and taken down. Well done. A little bit of Tracer action by Sake, going for a quick ult, dropping the melee in, and just like dropping continuous damage against the opponent here. Especially with a slate of hands, this is of course going to be a good one. Still a little bit disappointed that on Tracer we're not seeing the MVP mount here, but I guess it makes sense. She is just a little bit tiny and a very fragile person, so going for the Billy mount here gets my seal of approval either way. But for now, 10 kills against 9. Guess what? Another shrine is active on the map, and that's the moment when we're going to see the teams fight maybe again. The problem is that level 20 talent that we have for the blue team. But we have still a move down to the bottom. It looks like they're trying to go for a bit of a trade. The big problem that the red team had so far is that they just didn't get a whole lot of value out of the Sylvanas with Punishers, and they didn't really turn a lot of structures to dust. And they have to kind of try and redeem themselves for it, and that's what they're doing at the bot lane right now. We're already seeing them move in as 5. They really want the fort, they want the experience to get level 20. They give up the Punisher at the top, and it's going to be a pretty tricky defense for them. Muradin is starting to make his way over now too, and at the top lane the Punisher is now taken any moment. As you can see at the bottom of the map, we are already having the keep annihilated, the fort annihilated, my apologies. And we're seeing the top lane pushing with the Punisher, 20 versus 20. And interesting enough, these guys are not retreating. They are actually just pushing in. The only one retreating is Muradin. That's the only one who's trying to make a bit of a defense play here. We have now Get Stuffed as the level 20 talent for Sake. for additional melee purpose. The keep over here is also down. It looks more and more like we're going to see a base race. They're just trying to go for the keep. Muradin is the only one missing. What is he doing? He should have gone with the rest of the team. He's trying to delay them a little bit, but he can actually provide quite a bit of damage. Already they are straight on that core, but the red team's core is racing down so much faster. It doesn't really look like the blue team can pull this off, and no, they don't. It's another win for Sake. He takes down Hart Johnson and his teammates. Job well done, and GG here in the Korean Hero League.